Hey folks, roll up your sleeves. This is our last day in the unit. And yeah, so here's what we're going to do. The first thing I want you to do is just take a moment to check back in with the excerpts of care work that y'all read previously in this unit and just kind of notice the connections, the through lines that you're seeing in care work with the Lohner and Rosenau piece that you read for homework last night, okay? Just so that you can kind of see that, right? Because there's an intentional connection. Then what you're going to do is you're really going to immerse yourself in the scholarship by deeply engaging with some of the references to people and to links that were included in the Lohner and Rosenau piece, okay? And this is going to take a lot of your time today, but just kind of just go through it and just really experience it, okay? Because I think in engaging with these materials, you're gonna be like, oh damn, right? It's just gonna make a lot of sense. So the first thing I want you to do is to engage with Kenny Freese's poetry, How Disability Can Save Your Life. That's a web text. There is a written version of it. But there's also a spoken version. I recommend checking out the spoken version of it. The poem is in both German and in English, and if you cannot read auf Deutsch, and I'm not expecting you to be able to do that, there is a little button that you can click in the top left-hand corner to make sure that you're reading it in English, okay? If you can't find that, just DM me, all right? So the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to learn more about the crip queer multiracial activist Stacy Milburn, who, by the way, is featured right here. So there are several links that I want you to check out because they relate to the hashtag that Lohner and Rosenau use, and also that Freese mentions in that poem, hashtag Stacy Taught Us, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is check out this like 10-minute interview between Stacy Milburn and Patty Byrne, who is one of the co-authors of the 10 Principles of Disability Justice, which should seem familiar to you because that was listed as an excerpt in the Care Work book that you read the excerpts from. Okay, so you're gonna like engage with that 10-minute interview. I think it's like a video interview. It's just a conversation between them. And it's actually really, really good and insightful. And then I want you to check out this moment more recently where Stacy Milburn is interviewed with her people in basically engaging in some crip queer mutual aid around COVID-19. So please engage with this news story. It's not that long. Then I want you to listen to this podcast, which memorializes Stacy Milburn. She has, recently passed, and really just kind of listen to the legacy so that you can kind of understand why that hashtag, what Stacy taught us, is about. Then, as a way to kind of come full circle, I want you to actually return to an essay that Stacy Milburn herself wrote called On the Ancestral Plane, Crip Hand-Me-Downs and the Legacy of Our Movements, because I think it's going to be a really good way for you to be like, oh, okay, So as you're reading these things, I think you're going to see a lot of the threads come together in this unit, and that's intentional, okay? And then another thing that was referenced in the Lohner and Rosenau piece was this cool magazine called Crip Magazine. They referenced Crip Magazine issue 3 called Actually the Dead Are Not Dead. And there are a lot of great essays in that issue, but I actually want you to scroll down to pages 19, starts on 19, but read from 19 to 25 about the Chilean German artist Crip and Trans Lorenza Blotner, and just kind of check out that write-up, okay? So I want you to read that and engage with it. Why? Because again, Lohner and Rosenau mentioned it, and also because you're going to start seeing all of these connections. Remember that that's what immersive learning is about, is we might be reading less academic scholarship, but we're engaging with it more deeply. And that way you'll be able to articulate it and talk about it and be like, this is why this stuff, this is why we're reading this, right? And then from there, and this is going to be probably the last maybe 10 or 15 minutes of class, because it's going to take you a minute to like immerse yourself in those things. And if you want to like process some things on the social channel as you're reading, absolutely do that. That's what it's there for. But I want you to just write a 3 to 4 sentence reflection of your biggest takeaways from engaging with these cultural artifacts, and also how they've sort of deepened your understanding of the necessity for a QT-POC led, or QT-POC, as is often said, a QT-POC led disability justice movement. Okay, so I want you to reflect on that, just again, 3 to 4 sentences. And once you've got that, share it to Unit 1D, Cryptocurrency, and then, respond to at least 2 of your peers' posts. Some of you are so good about responding to multiple of your peers, and I just want to say how much I appreciate that you're doing that. It's just know that I see the care that you're taking to engage with your peers, and I do think it makes a huge difference in terms of our experiences in the class. So I see that emotional and intellectual labor. So for homework, we are transitioning into Unit 2, which is going to be one of, I hope you think it's cool. I don't want to say it's my favorite unit yet because I don't know, but it's one that I'm kind of proud of. But I want you to read Puig's The Trans Alien Manifesto, Future Love, Sex Tech, and My Efforts to Remember Your Embrace. So it's an article / essay from Transgender Studies Quarterly. And what do I want to say about this piece? It's not going to be your traditional academic article. I just want you to read it and vibe. Remember, just keep swimming. If you don't understand everything, that's okay. This is a queer theory class, and some of the things that we're going to be reading are going to be like, you're going to be like, damn, what's this? It's okay. Just keep reading. So you're going to be doing the active reading model, right? So make sure to practice that. Don't skip that. And then, yeah, just you're going to obviously read it, comment on it, and respond to at least 2 of your peers. And you are more than welcome to comment on multiple things in the document. You don't have to just highlight one thing. You can totally highlight more than one thing. Okay, and some of you are doing that, and I do think it probably, again, is sort of deepening that conversation with your peers. So it's entirely up to you. Okay, so that's it.